Albanian mafioso soulmate.
Okay.
I think the world of him. I mean, he's a legitimate tough guy. I think he was put under the wrong people at the time when he was in the Gravano family. At least he was part of my crew. But that didn't happen.
You heard that the
Welcome to this episode of Chattin with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we're going to talk about my little Albanian mafiosi and the big war that's going on between Eletto and Scammy the Bull. They used to have a love affair. Now they hate each other. Crazy how things happen when they didn't even know each other. That's what's the odd thing. Sonny's not here today. Shout out to Sonny. He's got some appointments and things. But shout out to him. I hope he feels better. He will be back. And he wanted to give everyone a shout out. So shout out to him. Hope everyone had a great holiday. It was great over here. And I got a lot of great content on the way. If you guys want to help out the show, you can donate through the Cash App at Chattin with Staxx. Got a lot of amazing interviews I'm going to be dropping. Shout out to Larry Levine. Larry Levine? I think it's Larry Levine. He's been on CNN, Court TV, Fox, a whole bunch of, I don't know if you would call them reputable news stations, but he's been on all of them. And we did an interview. It's pretty entertaining. And if you guys haven't seen the interview with the two professional skateboarders, Al Garcia and Fabian Alomar, go check that out. Part 2 is going to be dropping probably tomorrow. Another one is I Married a Psychopath. Go check out that episode. Shout out to Anastasia. And if anyone out there needs a voice, just hit me up and I'll get you on the show. The email is billstax2021@gmail.com. And we'll work it out. So there's a lot of different things going on in the news. I wanted to talk about one of them real quick. So in I think it was Brooklyn last night. Might have been Brooklyn. There was a woman killed. Let's see if I could find it. Bridgeport, Connecticut, there were 2 people killed at it was like a after hours gambling spot. A lot of crazy things happening. Man found dead in his CT home, left with rosary beads, locked phone, and a few clues on ID. Huh? Another one, 2 people are dead, injured in shooting near Bridgeport intersection. Bridgeport housing project finally underway. So on Stafford Avenue, Bridgeport, police have vowed to crack down on illegal establishments after shooting that killed 2. So the mayor said on Monday he vowed to crack down on establishments and their social clubs, I guess, where people go and gamble. It says white rolling shutters covered the facade of one-story building connected to a shooting that killed the 30-year-old man, Richard Davis, and the 32-year-old man, Trayvon Getter. And two others were injured. A 34-year-old woman and a 25-year-old man are in stable condition. It was a conflict that began inside an illegal operation, police said, declining to get into further specifics about the investigation, such as whether police had obtained usable footage. They probably did, because, you know, everything is being recorded nowadays. You can't do anything without being on tape. So it says half a dozen security cameras on the front of the building. If this operation had not been there, it would have not have allowed and invited that element to occur. The officials expressed condolences to the families to do more to crack down on similar establishments. They will be pursued collectively by our police department, health department, our fire department. They will fit in to shut this down. An illegal night of activity, social clubs, anything you want to call it, which spurred on this illegal night of violence that lost 2 lives in the Bridgeport residence. Porter said the department would perform spot checks on various establishments in gentlemen's clubs, hookah lounges, without official business present, but where police suspect illegal activities are taking place. It's pretty crazy. So they have these illegal gambling dens all over the city. Hey, Big Gus, how are you? Raekwon, what's going on? Christopher, how are you? Full green light. Shout out to you, man. Kev, thanks for getting a membership. Remember, if you get a membership, you will see the content first. We appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch this show. So let's check out the first video where Sammy is talking great about ALIAR. He doesn't even know him. But let's check it out.
A beef is happening right now in the mafia social world, I would say, between you and Sammy Gravano. But before that, Sammy had a lot of respect for you, to be honest. So, and also he called you the perfect gangster. Let's hear it out, what he said.
In contact with my brother ALIAR. Was in the Gambino family. Very powerful.
That's another lie. So he was in the Gambino family, but they had no dealings, right? Is that what he's saying? Because he was the underboss of the Gambino family. So now he was a very powerful member of the Gambino family. Kind of confused. James, what's going on?
A member of the Gambino family. He's my
His little Albanian mafioso.
Mafioso soulmate.
Okay.
I think the world of him. I mean, he's a legitimate tough guy. I think he
We heard that he testified against John Gott Jr. What was your first thought?
he was betrayed by John Gotti Jr. And I mean, he worked the land, he got in trouble in Brazil, he went to prison, he was betrayed, and that was what happens.
Yeah, I just want to know, Have you heard that Johnny maybe assassinated somebody back in time? That maybe he killed somebody back in time, Johnny Lights?
That's that way.
Okay.
He was a professional hitman. So I guess this has come from the killer himself. He was a professional hitman for the Gambino crime family. But John A. Light changes his tone on Sammy the Bull pretty quick after Sammy wouldn't jump through hoops for him. It's pretty wild.
Professional hitman. And he couldn't get made because he wasn't Italian on his father's head, but he was to us he was an Albanian mafioso.
His little Albanian mafioso.
Okay.
With total respect.
No, totally understand. Do you remember a little bit what was his activities back in time?
Whose activities?
Whose activities? Whose? He's like, whose activities? Because he can't remember who he was just talking about. He said, whose activities? His activities, Sammy, his.
Johnny Lights?
Well, I think they used him more or less to be a strong arm. He was the muscle for John Gotti Jr.
We are back. Now, John, what do you think made Sammy change opinion about you?
Yeah, what made him change his opinion about you, John? We're curious to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
Because I'm not like most guys. I'm not weak. So when he says something that I don't like or I don't agree with, I'm going to say it.
So that's why you changed your opinion on Sammy the Bull? Or was it because the $3,000 you gave him and he didn't give you the clout that you wanted? Or is that the real reason?
So I'll say it again. Now, he's a cunt. He's a fucking coward. He's another big mouth that didn't do much.
Hey, world, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Get your ass in the toilet, bitch. Have fun down there with your buddies. Punk motherfucker. All right, back to the content. Now that we flushed that turd.
Much. Now, people are going to say, well, he was an underboss, buddy. So I'm going to tell you, you can ask people or research, what did this man do to get to be to the level of being a made man?
What? What did you do? You're not even Italian, John. You couldn't even be made if you paid for it. So, I mean, listen, Sammy the Bull is total trash in my world, in my eyes. And I'm not a gangster, all right? I'm not here to debate the gangster shit or any of that. But I can see through these people. And Sammy the Bull's not a changed man. Neither is this guy. And it's their actions is why I do this.
So people think because they're a made man that they did something spectacular to get there. He didn't do any kind of robberies because he went through that on his shows. He did some bullshit like almost kid stuff, the robberies. He shot a gun once prior to him becoming a made guy. And he shot one person out of 19 out of his own mouth. So he shot maybe 2 people. And he lived off that his whole life, and he tells you about how tough he is. He set up murders.
Still a bigger gangster than you.
If you're that tough, after you cooperated, you wouldn't have hid in Arizona. He loves Brooklyn. He's from Brooklyn, but yet he's hiding in another state under, like I say, like Bin Laden in the mountains.
You're hiding in another state, too. You don't live in New York. You made people think that you lived in New York. You don't. You live in New Jersey. You hide out down there in Tampa with your rat buddies.
So to me, he's a fucking coward with another big mouth. You know, he's an older guy now. He ain't no tough guy. He can bullshit everybody else. These guys live over reputations of doing one or two things, and then they con everybody. So,
hey, takes one to know one, right?
They don't sit with me because I'm very straightforward the way I talk, because I'm going to talk in detail. Let's talk about what you did. I'm going to ask them, let's tell us how you got to be a made guy. Tell me what you did to get there. Tell me while you were a made guy, did you go out and shoot anybody by yourself?
Hey,
did you fight
good,
three guys by yourself? Did you go out and put a bat in your hand by yourself? Did you go do a robbery by yourself? Did you ever do anything without being a coward and shooting somebody in the back of the head with 10 guys by you know, besides that? Because anybody can do that. But did you put yourself in harm's way? Were you intelligent enough to make money without a group of guys? These guys can't survive without being in their neighborhoods where everybody knows them, where they got 20 guys with them. But if they're alone, they're not going to survive. If they're in another country, forget about another jail like I was in, like Brazil. So I don't give a fuck what stupid title they give themselves. It doesn't mean anything to me. And you got to remember, they're going to attack me because I'm an Albanian, putting down the guys that I don't like in the Italian mafia, who I think are just weak. I think they're cowards. And when I had a little more understanding of Sammy Gravano and his history, because I wasn't friendly with him in the mob days, I was Gotti's guy, not him. And when he started opening his mouth, then I started attacking him.
Hey, James, it seems like you got a problem that I flushed your brother. Well, you can go down the bowl with him, buddy. How about that? Bye-bye, motherfucker. Now, on to the next one. Is there anybody else that wants to go down the toilet?
After I researched a little bit more about him through his friends.
I think here and there over the past couple years, but really I think done a good job of not.
Look at Elton John A. Light here. Look at him. Him in his jacket. Looks like he's going to jump on the table and start dancing. Hey, David, what's up? Sammy wasn't running 5 miles when he was 5 years old. He wasn't running 10 at 10 years old either. He was doing 1 million push-ups. Vegas Pete, what's up, man? How are you? Thanks for joining me this morning. I already had to flush 2 turds down the toilet.
For a lot of different reasons, but I think in recent times has, spoken about you a fair bit. He apparently owes you some money.
Oh, the truth is coming out.
I think he calls himself something and you have opinions about that, about what his role really was in the mob and what he really did or didn't do. So I think today is a great day for you to, for lack of a better word, expose and really tell the truth about who Sammy Gravano is. And a lot of people, follow him and watch him. But I think you have more insight than anybody else, really.
The thing about Sammy is, he's famous for one reason.
Yeah, another rat. Takes one to know one. Yeah, tell us about Sammy Gravano, okay? The rat, because, you're one too, so... Hold on 1 second. Full exposure coming right up. Too funny, man. Hey, Guy, what's up? Maureen, how are you? Could have used you a little while ago, Maureen. We had to flush some turds. Hey, Francis, how are you?
He's pretty famous. He's well known, and he's famous because he ratted on John Gotti. That's as simple as that. If it wasn't John Gotti that he spoke about, really, not too many people would know who he is. He gave up the father, and he came home and lived off that reputation of being John Gotti's whatever, downfall of John Gotti. I don't want to even use the word rat. I really don't care for that word.
He does. Yeah, you know what? Rats don't care for the word rat. Of course they don't. You know? Hey, Pet Tattoos, how are you doing, man? Hope you guys all had a great holiday weekend. I had an absolute great time. It was really good. William, what's going on? Shout out to everyone that takes the time to watch this show. We want Sonny. Sonny had some appointments this morning. We might do a live later on.
One way or another, and I'm not saying it because the reason why I'm going to bring this out is because he's done a lot of talking, but from jail, he was with a friend of mine, Kevin Bonham.
Hell yeah, pot calling the kettle black. 100 times over. It happens every day on this YouTube.
And Kevin
on this social medias.
And Kevin did about 25 years, I believe, total. And, you know, guys will call guys rats and this and that and whatever.
I mean, it is what it is. It's cut and dry. You guys are mafia rats. And you come on here, and now you want to make a reputation as tough guys and explain all this dumb shit you did, which is totally unbelievable. So, like, I mean, embrace it. Embrace it, John. Embrace it. You are a rat, just like Sammy Gravano. I mean, is that hard to understand? I mean, it's not really that hard to understand, right? Exactly, rat tube.
He did 25 years. He did give information against me. I got no hard feelings towards him or anybody else. I moved my life on. He held out. I got to tell you, so I'll talk about Kevin. He held out. They hit him with a case. He held out. They hit him with another case. Hit him with a third case. Tried to hit him with a lifetime fourth case. Finally, he caved in. And he dropped the cards and he goes, that's it, I'm done. And I get it. And I got
Sonny is just the topping on the greatest show. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
hard feelings with him. I like him, but he was...
And I got the damn book, Gotti Rules. I'll just read, then I'll decide. Now, have you heard about the Iceman? Someone to report on sometimes about his loss. Yeah, I'm going to look into it. I would buy John A. Light's book with Gene. I wouldn't buy John A. Light's book with Gene Barillo's stolen money. You wouldn't trade in Ric Flair's watch for one of those books, man? Yo, Anthony, how are you? Thanks for joining me this morning. Come on.
Kevin was a straight-up guy, nice guy, good-looking guy, gangster, dressed well. And he was with Sammy.
Shout out to South Philly. Sugar Bear's interview is going to be dropping. I have, I think there's like 4 more parts of that interview. Maybe I'll drop one tonight.
So Sammy knew a lot about me from being with Kevin all these years in Minnesota, actually, they were at. So when he pretends he doesn't know me, there's the first lie.
He pretends he doesn't know me. He should know you for all the work you did in the Gambino family, right, John? He should know you for all the millions you were raking in for the upper echelons of the Gambino family. How can he possibly not know who you are?
Or he doesn't know much about me. He knows a lot about me because my friend told him at the time.
Oh, your friend told him. He didn't know from you raking in the millions? I mean, that's what you said in the other interviews, so I'm just kind of confused.
That you don't know him, and if you ever spoke to him that way or tried anything with him that way, John would have killed you. That I would have killed him, he told. Now, when Sammy talks from prison, he knew I was friendly with his
daughter. I was friendly with his daughter. John, you ain't killing nothing, letting nothing die. So just stop this big killer tough guy act. Just cut this shit, man.
With his daughter, I was family. And he asked his daughter to ask me, can I get him a lawyer? Which I brought him to, again, because we're talking about him all week because of the senator's case and the corruption. Doug Anton. Now, I brought him Doug Anton to be an attorney for him. and also an attorney.
Hey, Pink Panther, let's go. We are living in strange times. Thank you all for joining the chat. Thanks, man.
His daughter, Karen. And he worked their entertainment case and helped Sammy on some legal matters he had while he was in jail. So he reached out to me initially from jail. I never reached out to him.
Yeah, it was a sleepover.
When he was on the street, John wanted to kill him. Now, he knows that. We had these conversations. I put some pictures.
John did not want to kill Sammy the Bull. He was his fucking underboss. He trusted the wrong person. You don't know shit about the situation. And anyone that is looks up to Sammy the Bull, I believe you're no good. Just my personal opinion.
Pictures out with me and him at Newark Airport at the time with a third guy that doesn't want to be involved with the life anymore. Was also a made guy. Was also at one time part of Sammy's crew.
Right, William. That's what I'm here for. Staxx, if it was not for you, I would have believed this crap. Thank you. See, there has to be some type of balance. Can't just be them spewing all this shit. Because people come on here and believe this shit. And there's going to be people like me and other people that are going to show who they really are. Exactly right. Sammy the bullshitter. Who is the guy? He is Pablo Escobar. Yeah, look at him. He's Elton John Eletto.
And another guy, little Joey, whose father, Spanky, will also stay with Sammy.
Yeah, if he was such a big killer mafiosi, right? How come John didn't kill Sammy after he cooperated against Senior? I don't get it. How come John didn't go kill him? He was on the streets around that time, right? You're the Gambino family hitman. How come you didn't do no hits?
And Joey was also friendly with me and was also a made guy with the Gambino family. So when he pretends that he doesn't know, this is the beginning of, he's building the foundation of being a liar.
You do it too.
And he's a good liar. He's good at lying.
You are too.
And when he goes ahead and he tells his story, he doesn't start from the beginning. At the beginning of Sammy's career,
Marty, what's up, man?
He wasn't around gangsters. He had no money. He was broke. He was in his 20s. He had really very small affiliation when he was younger. He was running around with some guys and gang members and whatever they were doing. Yeah, okay. He did kid shit. It's not
more dangerous than anything you did, Mr. Albanian mafiosi.
Not impressing anybody. We're all on the street. And actually, my friends as kids, I always said I wasn't wild, but my friends were.
I thought he was the one doing all the killings. I'm confused. Because other interviews, he said he was born and bred to be a hitman for the Gambino family. Now he's saying he wasn't wild, all his friends were. So, does anyone pick up on that?
Goes ahead and he tells his story. He doesn't start from the beginning.
This guy makes me embarrassed to be a fellow Albanian. It's insane. Full green light. How embarrassing for ALIAR's sons to have a dad that thinks he's something and lies all the time. It's got to be insane. One of them's in prison. He must have listened to his dad.
At the beginning of Sammy's career, he wasn't around gangsters. He had no money. He was broke. He was in his 20s. He had really very small affiliation when he was younger. He was running around with some guys and gang members and whatever they were doing. Yeah, okay. He did kid shit. It's not impressing anybody. We're all on the street. And actually, my friends as kids, I always said I wasn't wild, but my friends were. At 12, 13, 14 years old, these guys were killing already, committing murders. Not just robbing, but committing murders, all of them. So I was exposed to dangerous guys at a very young age, before anybody. I was exposed to the mob at 3 years old, to Blackie, Al Greco, and serious killers and gangsters.
Liar. Fucking liar. Yeah, I did hear about that. they're both idiots, both of them.
Like Charlie Luciano from my father. So I've been around them since a baby. Unlike him, he wasn't. Now, as time goes on, he gets involved with the Colombo family. So when people say to him, you know, did he just come up from anywhere? He came up from the Colombo family, and the Colombo family chased him. They were contemplating killing him.
They didn't fucking chase him. They fucking traded him like a baseball card. This guy, let's hear it. Let's hear about the mafia from someone who wasn't in the mafia. Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't. Because Aletto here doesn't know shit. He worked at Dick's Deli making sandwiches. That was his affiliation growing up. Right here. I did make sandwiches. Yes, I did. That's a shot from inside Dick's Deli.
And I think I spoke of this already. His friend Louis Menino brought
Louis Menino? He doesn't even know how to say his fucking name. Louis Menino? His friend Louis Menino? This guy's a real gangster.
Like him, he wasn't. Now, as time goes on, he gets involved with the Colombo family. So when people say to him, you know,
hey, Mickey, what's up, man?
Come up from anywhere. He came up from the Colombo family, and the Colombo family chased him.
That's what all these guys think, Anthony. They want to have their cake and eat it too. I mean, listen, there's people out there that didn't cooperate, like Joey Merlino. There's other people like Frank DiMatteo. He didn't cooperate. You don't have to cooperate to come on YouTube. Now everyone out there is saying, oh, he's a rat because he's on YouTube. No, you're a rat because you cooperated with the fucking government. And that's the bottom line. I see Jimmy has a problem with Joey Merlino being on the internet now. Get the fuck over it. All of you people who have a problem with it, get the fuck over it.
They were contemplating killing him. And I think I spoke of this already. His friend Louis Menino brought him around.
Louis Menino? I don't even know how to say his name. His name's Louis Menino, I think.
The Gambino family saved his life. So when Sammy's discussing things about how the structure of the mafia works, I know better than him.
He knows better than him because he wasn't in it. He can just make shit up as he goes. He knows better than Sammy Gravano about how the mafia works. This can't be life. Is this really life?
He wasn't around till later on in life. I was around since I'm a kid.
He just said he wasn't even involved. And now he was around since he was a kid. This guy can't make his mind up. Whatever way the wind blows is where these fuckers go.
My question is, very flat out, is Sammy Gravano a fraud?
Dun, dun, dun.
He's a fraud. And guys, you know, Joey DeChico, that's Frankie DeChico's brother.
Come on, everybody's seen the fucking video on YouTube of DeChico, his uncle, saying, oh, he killed my nephew. Now he's going to talk like he was there.
They call him Butter. Did a video about that.
Everybody's seen it on YouTube, but I was there. I was the one holding the camera.
You know, during the trials. He called them every name in the book in a video, and he called them out. He said the guy's a fraud. And he really is a fraud. I mean, he's somewhat of a gangster, don't get me wrong.
Like what? Okay, so let's...
All right, so wait, so somewhat of a gangster? Somewhat? You mean like you? Wait, you weren't even made. You're not Italian. You weren't made. And you're a rat on top of it. So, can you make that make sense? I don't think so.
But because I think it's important, right? We don't want to do.
I think it's important that you try to tell the truth, John. Just try, for once in your life, please.
Do this. We're not here to just say one thing without backing it up, right?
That's what you're doing.
I guess.
Hey,
how is he a gangster? How is he not? And where is like the fraud part, right?
$3,000 is the fraud part.
Right?
When you're talking about a gangster, I'm talking about what we said on the other show about Lucky Luciano. That's a well-dressed guy, right?
Who gives a fuck? Why is he making references to Lucky Luciano? Which, again, you're not Italian. So, is Lucky Luciano your hero, John? Because if you guys don't know, Lucky Luciano cooperated as well.
Carries himself well. I'm going to start from each section.
I'm going to start from each section so I could kind of confuse you guys.
Sammy isn't a well-dressed guy, and he wasn't well-spoken. He wasn't very educated, and he's not a well-dressed guy, too. He's not a guy that you can bring around and you can sit down with legitimate businessmen with class, and I'm talking about CEOs and people that are in marketing or in different places, because
he doesn't have an Elton John suit like you do, right? It's insulting. He thinks everyone is stupid on social media. Definitely does. We are the Staxx Army. Thank you, William. It is. He thinks everyone's just stupid and gonna believe all this bullshit. He thinks everyone's like false for it. Look at his fucking jacket. True gangster, if I say so myself.
The ignorance and the way he carries himself will come out. He'll eat with his hands. He just isn't. He's not a sharp, dignified, guy. He's just not. It's just not his thing, right? He grew up, a little dumb, I guess. Is not educated. He's not well traveled around the world.
Like I am, Brazil and all this other stuff. That's how he's not a real gangster.
Right? So I'll talk about guys that travel around the world, and he's not one of them. So there's things, right, that's typical that you can see that he's not, a sharp guy that way. Okay. Now, is he a guy that is soft-spoken and businesslike? And, there's a million guys, like we'll use Tommy Gambino. I'm going to use some of the guys that was very soft-spoken, very intelligent business guy, carried himself like a gentleman. No, he's not in that category. Now, the next category, is he a thug? Personally, no. Did he align himself with guys that were tough guys? Like,
this guy's fucking talking in circles. It's fucking spins your brain. Really, it does. So on one hand, he's a gangster. The other hand, he's not a gangster. So we'll just say Lucky Luciano, and then we'll say this guy, and let's just confuse the fuck out of you so we have no direction towards this conversation. How about you just take me up on my offer, John, and take a lie detector test and prove to the world that you're not a fucking liar. How about that, John? Now I expect an answer soon. Will you come on and take a lie detector test, John?
Did Chico? Yes. Did he understand the street to maneuver himself near these guys? Yes. But is he personally a shooter? Absolutely not. Since he's a kid, he's not.
So I'm not personally familiar, so I don't want to say that I am with how many people he said he's, hurt. Have you?
Oh, the government says 19. How many did John Eletto here kill? He says over 50. And he says he only got 10 years because of the extradition treaty. They dropped all the murders because of the extradition laws. What the fuck?
You heard the numbers that he throws out?
Here's what I'm going to tell you.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you there, buddy. Here's the rest of the lies I'm gonna tell you. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. Bullshit.
He's a small guy. You see pictures with me. So he's not going to physically hurt too many guys. And he's not qualified as a UFC fighter. He boxed a little bit, he says.
You didn't box either. Just like you say you were a professional baseball player, John. Elton John Aletto in the flesh.
I seen him. I'm not very impressed. Over the years, I'm talking about Teddy Atlas said that he sucks with his hands, who's one of the greatest trainers around that's knowledgeable in the boxing business.
I think you suck with your hands too, John. Nobody ever seen you box anything. No one. Saw you sitting in the gym with your fucking arms folded with a punching bag in the background. But punching bags don't hit back, John.
I stayed with Bobby Ches, 3-time champ. I stayed with Jerry Cooney. I stayed with
5'5".
Prince Badi.
So what? Did their skills rub off on you? Is that how it works, John? So you stayed with them, so now you're a professional boxer too?
That's exaggerating his height. I got a picture next to me and him, and I look like I'm 6'2" next to him, and I'm 5'8". So, and we'll put that picture up. But so these qualifications he just doesn't have. Does he know a lot of guys? Yeah, but when the guy doesn't, like when he talks about gas pipe,
they're great with their hands on writing statements.
and I'm going to give you some things and we could cover it. And he says gas pipe was a dummy, he's full of shit. He was petrified of gas pipe and Vic Musso. And not that I'm just saying that, but they killed all our guys and we didn't retribute. So,
all right, so wait, if they killed all your guys and you didn't retribute, you were the Gambino family's hitman. So how come you didn't retribute, Johnny? Just curious, because, I mean, you said it out of your mouth. You were the Gambino family's hitman. How come no retribution there, Johnny? Instead, you're hugged up with the biggest rat in the world. Like, what's up?
I want to know what his answer to that is. You understand? Like, if you're going to talk that you were this killer and you're good at it and you're talking this smack, then why didn't you retaliate any of the murders of our guys?
How come you didn't retaliate of the murders of any of your guys? I'm just curious. Was it his job or your job?
Okay. What do you think Sammy was, or what was he good at?
He's a good bullshit artist. I mean that. No, he knew how to bullshit his way to construction industry.
You're pretty good at yourself, John. I'm gonna give you that. I mean, you gotta give credit where credit's due. You are good at bullshitting people.
He knew.
So what do you mean by that? Like, explain what would that look like?
Well, he opened up construction companies, right? John wasn't a businessman. John Gotti Sr. He'll say it himself. He was just through and through a gangster. He went on the street. He didn't care about money. He really didn't.
John Gotti cared about money. Don't give me that shit. This fucking guy did not know John Gotti. For him to even say that is total bullshit.
I can tell you all the good qualities of John. Because Sammy didn't grow up or know John. He didn't even know him until 82 or 83. He met him once or twice. So before the hit of Castellano, he didn't even know the guy.
He had to know him before the hit of Castellano. He planned it with him. I don't think that they drove by the body like he said and all that shit. I don't believe that. I don't believe they paged Aletto here after the hit happened. Oh, yeah. Did I forget to tell you? Aletto here says that they paged him after Castellano was hit. Do you believe it? He really says that they paged him. Now, let's take a look.
We get some 911 texts on our beepers. Back in those days, it was beepers. And I kept getting them 911, 911. And behind the 911, I'm getting 98. That means come to the club on 98th Street in Bergen. So I know something happened. It's all over the news. It's flashed everywhere that Paul Castellano was hit in front of Sparks Steakhouse.
And he's like, my plan worked. It all went through. They followed my directions. Yo, Jam, what's up? He's John's rent boy. 100%. Rent him to do this. Rent him to do that.
Big Paul Castellano, reputed godfather of the Gambino family, was on his way.
Money up to the boss of the Gambino family.
Now listen close, people.
John Gotti, the boss of all bosses.
He's the boss of all bosses. Now, he wasn't the boss until after Paul gets killed, right? Listen to what he says.
The head of the mafia. Gotti heard that I was a big earner for the family.
Gotti heard that ALIAR was a big earner for the family. I wonder who he heard that from.
And now he wanted to see me. I knew this was it for me. I was moving up the ladder.
You bring Aletto to me!
At the top, I knew I couldn't get any higher than John Gotti. This was my time. The first time I see John Gotti.
The first time he sees John Gotti, he says that this is what John Gotti said to him. Now listen close.
I look at him with respect, fear, intimidation. He looks in my eyes. He said, will you be loyal to this family above anything else in your life? Are you willing to give your life for me and my family? I said, I can do that. He said, you never, ever talk about anything we discuss here? And I said, 100%.
Wasn't he on the books already with a family? So, kind of, what? Total bullshit. Yeah, I'm surprised one of their family members haven't slapped them around. Hey, listen, it's not over. Life ain't over yet, so you never know what happens in the future. I think a lot of these mob rats have a false sense of security. They definitely can get touched. But remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. I don't wish harm on anybody, anywhere. This is purely entertainment. But these people are fucking delusional. 100% Maureen. Delusional.
John did not know Sammy like that. Sammy did not sleep in John Gotti's house. I did.
He did. Yeah, you slept over with the son before he was even involved with the mob.
He didn't grow up in that family's household. I did. He didn't have, John Sr. never trusted him. He didn't have any kind of real trust of the guy. He trusted Frankie DeChico. He trusted Georgie DeChico, his brother.
Did he trust you, John? John, hey, John, did John Sr. trust you? How come he didn't say John Sr. trusted me? How come he didn't say that?
He trusted and loved Joey DeChico, who we call Butter. You know, that's John's loyalty was there. Sammy implemented himself in that storyline. So later on, when Castellano gets hit and he doesn't stop talking about it, because that's all he has to try to build himself up to the public, is the Castellano hit. He was solely a made guy only.
Listen, like I said, Gravano is trash of trash. there's a pile of trash, right? Gravano's on the top. And then there's Aletto, Chief Suckums, Donkey Boy Dominic, Baroni, the phony. There's all of them. Rats Aren't Made, They're Born, Ruggiero Jr., all of them. There's a big pile of garbage. Sammy's on the top, and this guy right here, John, is right underneath him. They all run in the same circle.
He wasn't in John's inner circle. He wasn't close to Jeannie Gotti. He wasn't close to Johnny Koenig. He wasn't close to Tony Roach. He wasn't close to Joey Scopo, although Joey Scopo was the acting boss of the Colombo family, becomes, and Ralphie Scopo, his father. He had no friendships with them. And
he grew up with Gotti, yeah. Too funny.
They were Colombo guys. He had no friendships.
Hey, Emerald, what's
Joey
up, man?
He was very close and grew up with the Gottis. So when you're talking about hitting a sitting boss,
James, what's good?
John did not trust Sammy in those conversations. He trusted Frankie. Did Frankie repeat some of these conversations to Sammy? Yeah, probably. That's probably exactly what happened.
Oh, so Frankie repeated the situation to Sammy, and Sammy used the story? Is that like what you do with all your shit? Is that how you get your stories, John? Because you seem to be everywhere all the time. You've never been caught, but in the same interview, you said you were caught. That you got arrested for using someone else's Corvette, and they told on you. But in that same interview, you said you were never caught doing a crime. You're not the perfect gangster, John. You're not even a gangster. You're a cooperator. And I'm by no means a gangster. Never was. But these guys, if this is what gangsters are.
But Sammy was only a made guy at the time. He's trying to make himself out to the public like he was John's underboss at that time. I was with John in the car. I drove past the body. It's impossible he drove past that body. And
I don't think they drove past the body, but guess what, John? He was in the Gambino family, unlike you. That's one thing Sammy does have on you. He was more of a gangster than you were. Is that hard to believe, John?
Manhattan, on 40, I believe it's, we always go through the Sparks. I believe it's 46th Street or 44th Street.
He doesn't even remember the address. He can't keep his shit together.
Sparks is between 2nd and 3rd Avenue. But it's impossible. You couldn't even get past it if you wanted to during Christmas. And
hey, Luigi, how are you?
With a body laying in the street, you didn't drive past it. So these are complete lies. Nobody's questioning them.
Yeah, Sammy says he drove by and saw Paul and Tommy Bellotti on the ground, and he was with Johnny Light was in the back. No, he said it was Sammy Gravano and John Sr. Sammy was driving allegedly, and John Sr. was in the passenger seat, and they drove by as Tommy Bellotti was on the ground and Paul was on the ground. And they drove by during that bustling night in the city around Christmas time, loaded with people, and they just drove by and saw the bodies and then kept going. Total bullshit. And then they paged John A. Light, told him what happened.
If Senior was sitting with us right now, how would he describe Sammy Gravano?
I don't think he would be sitting with you right now. I forgot that kid's name. But yeah, he would never sit with you.
He described him to me at the wake.
He described, you can tell this guy, man. He can't even fucking, every other sentence he's stuttering.
Past it if you wanted to during Christmas. And with a body laying in the street, you didn't drive past it. So these are complete lies. Nobody's questioning them.
If Senior was sitting with us right now, how would he describe Sammy Gravano?
All right, listen to his response. Pure bullshitter. This is how you know people are full of shit.
He described him to me at the wake. I said,
pure bullshitter.
to me at past there if you wanted to during Christmas, and with a body laying in the street, you didn't drive past there. So these are complete lies. Nobody's questioning them.
If Senior was sitting with us right now, how would he describe Sammy Gravano?
All right, listen to his response. You guys ready for this one? Ready?
He described him to me at the wake.
What?
I said in Brooklyn. He looked at me because I said hello to Sammy and I was small talking with him. And Sammy said, same thing. Sammy didn't really know me. I was part of John's crew.
No, you weren't. Sammy didn't know you from the street. Because you slept over Junior's house doesn't mean you're a member of the Gambino family, John. I hate to burst your bubble.
People don't understand. To me,
sounds like either a glitch in the Matrix there, huh? The fuck?
To me, at the.
Nah.
To me, at the. To me, at the wake, I said in Brooklyn. He looked at me because I said hello to Sammy and I was small talking with him. And Sammy said, same thing. Sammy didn't really know me. I was part of John's crew. People don't understand. There's hundreds of us. And we say hello and goodbye. Unless you have business with them, you don't talk to them.
But you're in the Gambino family. You don't talk to them? You're in the same house with the father and the son. You're sleeping over. And you don't talk to him at all. You don't talk to the underboss. But you're running the family, right? You're raking in millions, you said.
It's a hello and goodbye unless you're talking some small talk about a football game, a baseball game or something. But
what about the millions you were making?
John made it very specific to me. I do not want you talking to him again.
Because you're a little kid, and he don't want you talking to grown folk business. That's why, John.
I didn't really understand it. And I'm wondering why he didn't want me sitting there talking to him. And then I understood later on because he made some comments basically saying to me, if this guy's got to go, I don't want you friendly with him. He didn't say those words directly.
He's saying that you told him, if this guy's got to go, I don't want you to be friendly with him. I thought you'd kill your friends.
But that's what he's saying, that you're going to have to kill this guy. So he wanted to make sure I never got friendly with a guy so you wouldn't have to worry about ever getting the order to kill a guy. It wouldn't bother you at the...
Yeah, but, there he goes with his fucking...
Basically saying to me, if this guy's got to go, I don't want you friendly with him. He didn't say those words directly, but that's what he's saying, that you're going to have to kill this guy. So he wanted to make sure I never got friendly with a guy so you wouldn't have to worry about ever getting the order to kill a guy. It wouldn't bother you at the least. You just kill him. No hesitation. Now, Sammy can try to elevate himself in John's mind.
Stuttering John. His name's Stuttering John now. Shout out to the real Stuttering John. He's going to take your name for a little bit until he can get his shit together.
But if John had respect for Johnny Knig, I never seen Johnny Knig carry an umbrella from him. And I don't mean that. I joke about it at times. I made fun of him.
Who gives a fuck? Listen, the person that carries the umbrella, the person driving them around, those are the people they respect the most. They're the people they can confide in. You know what I'm saying? John Gotti Sr. made a mistake with Sammy Gravano. That's painfully obvious, right? But this guy, he made a huge mistake letting his son have his fucking friend over. A big mistake.
I'm not saying this to be sarcastic towards him.
I'm not saying this to be...
right now. He wouldn't even think of asking Johnny Knig to do that, and Johnny Knig would never do it. He would laugh at him and throw the umbrella at him if somebody knew the way Johnny was. He was a different relationship with Senior. But when Senior needed to kill somebody, he would have told Angelo Ruggiero, right? He would have told Johnny Kinnick. He would have told his brother.
Yeah, Mickey, that kid's a fucking jerk off, too. Fucking, these guys are all dummies and idiots. It's laughable funny.
Even though they'd argue with each other, they're brothers. He would have told his inner circle, and Sammy wasn't part of that inner circle.
Like you were, right, John? He wasn't a part of that inner circle like I was.
And there's no way he would trust his life in the hands of a guy that only has one murder under his belt.
But guess what, John? He did. He did trust that guy. And he went to prison for the rest of his life because of that guy. So what the fuck are you talking about, John? You're talking out of your fucking ass.
And Sammy wasn't part of that inner circle. And there's no way he would trust his life in the hands of a guy that only has one murder under his belt. He was a shooter once.
So you believe Sammy only shot one person?
No, I know he did. It's in the court records. It's not me just making it up.
Which court records, if you
when he
want to check?
testified.
Oh, it's not you making it up like your whole story, John? Mr. Murderer? You should change your name to Murder in the First Degree.
That he admitted he only killed one person by his own hand. The problem is he's deluding himself into telling people he's good at killing. I'm a good murderer. And then he went after me and said, I'm embellishing. I don't need to embellish.
You don't need to embellish. You are the epitome of embellishment, John.
I rap off a list of names I've done things to.
Because you read them in a book and learned them from your friends. I give you this, man. You're not good at answering questions, though. Will you take a fucking lie detector test, John? The offer is there. If you take a lie detector test, I will never do a show about you again. So, what's it going to be, John? I really want to know your answer.
It's not in a bragging way. It's just that's what I did. That's what John had me around for. That's what I was around his son for.
That's what John had him around for, Senior.
And there's enough people and enough names and enough agents that have been on stages and talking that this is very easy to find out. Is he lying or is he not? Well, I've been on stages with the head of the Gambino squad, and I talked to a group of kids with Phil Scala.
Who gives a fuck? You talked with a fucking crooked FBI agent. Okay. What, you paid him a couple dollars, just like you gave to Sammy to vouch for you. You are the biggest fraud on the planet.
I also talked on stage with you, with Ted Otto. These guys know exactly what's accurate and what isn't accurate.
See you later, Francis.
When
have a great day.
They talk about by your own hand, I've said name after name of people I shot, where I shot them, in the head, in the chest, baseball batted guys and killed them, put them into comas. I've said it.
Put them into comas, but they survived. I killed them, put them into comas, but they survived. They came out of the coma later. What the fuck? Guy's a really delusional. Staxx, he will never take a lie detector test. I know. Come on. I know the answers to the questions I'm asking.
Over by name, by location, by date. I don't need to embellish from 30 to 40, right? Because those are the numbers for me. Now, Sammy.
Those are the numbers for me. I killed 30 to 40 guys. No, you didn't. Take a lie detector test, John. And the answers are yes and no. And I guarantee you, you will not take a lie detector test.
Has never directly, he'll never say with you, where you can directly ask him these questions. And so I say, he's a fraud in that manner. Was he involved in a mob? Yeah. Was he a made guy? Yes.
Were you a made guy? No.
Did they elevate him after the hit? Yes. because he had nowhere to go after that hit. He was involved in those conversations with Frankie DeChico. When Frankie gets blown up, John knows that he's got to keep Sammy close to him because he doesn't trust him. He also knows that he's weak, that he may try to set him up if he lets him stray somewhere else. So he pulls him closer.
So he pulls him closer and trusts him more with his life. You know, the wrong guy to trust with your life. He didn't trust him with his life, but he pulled him closer. You make no sense here, John. Like, I don't know if you're on drugs. I don't know what the fuck is going on with you, buddy, but something's off.
This is one of the most intelligent moves John made. Now you got him on your lap.
What? That was the biggest mistake of John Gotti Sr.'s life, was bringing fucking Sammy Gravano around. The biggest mistake. And he said that's the greatest thing. What?
Kill him when you want. You can abuse him the way you did. You can make him carry umbrellas. You can make him do anything you want, like a trick, like a monkey. No different than Sammy does now when he puts certain guys on the show with him. He manipulates them.
Look at the monkey in the jacket. Look at the mafiosi in the jacket. Look at him in the Elton John jacket. Ready? Hold on. He's going to dance for us. Dance around, monkey. Oh, man.
And I'm going to say, sadly, because I like Anthony Ruggiano, I'm the one that brought him into this genre. The same way I brought Sammy into this genre.
No, you didn't. And Ruggiano's just a fucking junkie fuck.
The same way I brought in the Bobby from Boston into this genre.
Another rat. Same way you bring in all the other rats, right? Your whole rat squad. Rat squad for life.
The same way I brought Anthony Ariola into this genre.
Anthony Ariola into this genres.
Same way I brought Gene Borello.
Same way I brought the guy that smashes doors down into this genres.
To the door.
I did this to the door. I pushed the door in. I did this to the door. I pushed the door in.
In this Airbnb, right?
Yes, I pushed the door.
And whose card is on file here?
Yours. So I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix the door for you.
So if I get charged for this,
you're not being charged.
I'm suing you. I'm taking you to court.
I'm fixing it.
You're not being charged. You're not being charged.
In this genre, I basically brought them all in.
He brung them all in, all right? He brung them all into this genres.
So any of these
Can
guys.
I add, also, you brought them in with the intentions of helping them, giving them a platform to
spew their bullshit. He figures he does it. Why not let these other guys do it?
better their lives.
Yeah.
Now what they did is what they did.
Yeah. But the problem with most of these guys, and excluding Anthony Ariola, because I like Anthony, and Anthony never did anything.
You see, he has a falling out with all of them. All of them, except Ariola. So he has a falling out with all of them. Something's wrong.
To me, in a betrayal way. Anthony Ruggiano, I told him come in because I grew up around them. And his father was a serious killer.
But he wasn't. And remember, rats are born. They're not made. Rat juice pumping through his veins. Rats aren't. Rats are born. They're not made. Rat juice pumping through his veins. Rats are born. They are not made.
Serious guy that didn't go to jail would have became one of the bosses. Or the boss of the family, probably. But he went to prison. Now, I know why Anthony went on Sammy's show, but Sammy only uses these guys because he's out of material. He's got to justify, make himself look like he's in. He brings these guys on, and they kind of justify whatever he says. And they're not being their own men and discussing. Sammy will never want to sit with me because I'll call him out. And I'll sit here and I'll tell factual stories about the guy. And I don't like to use the word Fat Sal because that's his nickname in the mob. Sal's very intelligent, money maker. He was one of the guys that was setting up to hit Sammy. Sammy,
fucking liar, man. Everything out this guy's mouth is a fucking lie.
Guys that was setting up to hit Sammy. Sammy tells that story in Arizona, and he completely changes the factual stories of.
You should have set him up and killed him, right? You're the big mafiosi in the Gambino family. What happened, John? You couldn't go take care of the problem yourself? You're a one-man army, remember?
Of what Sal did. And Sal's way, way too intelligent for him. Sal's the one that started all these guys in the bank robbery business. He taught them all how to rob banks, so people that don't know. And Sal's intelligent moneymaker legitimately in any business he goes in. Food business, car business, whatever he touches, he's a sharp guy. He's a moneymaker.
He looks like the disco queen in that jacket. Yes, he does, James. 100%. This guy said he got chased out of New York, runs to Philly, starts running the mob there, within the week, starts running the mob in Philly. They tell him to kill Joey Merlino. He denies the hit, says, I'm not going to do that. I got a question for you guys. What happens when you deny a hit? You usually get killed, right? Not him. He runs down to Tampa, sets up his little rat headquarters down there in Tampa, and now he's prospering.
When's the last time you spoke to Sammy?
Oh, months ago after we had the falling out. We had a falling out for one reason.
$3,000. And don't you fucking forget it. They had a falling out because of $3,000. Now, if you guys like this content, there's a lot more to come. And I'm going to be on probably later with Sonny. Shout out to Sonny. Sending prayers to him. Hope everything's turning out all right. I appreciate all you guys that take the time to watch this show. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll be on later. If you guys want to donate to the show, you can hit up the Cash App at Chattin with Staxx. Or if you want to be a guest on the show, just hit up my email at BillStaxx2021. We'll work it out. I appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch this show. And remember, don't be a Johnny A.